Thank you once again for joining us on the show. Some families of Ghanaian pilgrims in Mecca are worried about the safety and whereabouts of their relatives on the pilgrimage. Their fears come after 717 Hajj pilgrims died in yesterday's stampede, leaving over 800 others injured. My colleague Michaela Anderson visited some Muslim homes here in Accra and reports the family members are restless because they are not getting any news from their relatives who have embarked on the holy journey.
It's very disheartening to hear that your brother or your sister or your father or your uncle or anybody of you will leave here to Mecca just to go and worship. Then you hear that he has passed on in Saudi Arabia just because of stampede. We don't know. We don't know the real source of this thing. When we had it, about 717 people who died. This is what I got to know. With 800 at the hospital. So when it happened like that, then what? Everybody is sick. Now nobody knows who is involved. That is my sister. I know I have my relatives. About 6 of them are now in Mecca.
Really?
Actually. The smallest is my younger sister.
How old is she?
She's about 45 years now.
Have you checked on her since the incident happened?
So I'm now going to see her daughter just this morning to find out what is happening before I could get the other relatives and know them. Because
feel about this whole incident?
Last night I didn't sleep at all. I'm thinking of them. Because imagine somebody who's struggling for several years, you can make his money out. Then at the end of the day, then they'll come and tell you that you went to Mecca just to worship and come back in a matter of 1 month or 2 weeks. Then he passed on, just like that. You see, even you, the relatives, you can't even see the body to bury. Do you understand me? It's very disheartening.
So it is obligatory work. Sometimes like this. That's the reason why when we were going there, we used to dress in white. It is between life and death. You can go there and you never come back. You see, after performing all this Hajj to the last day, when you die from that place, you are blessed. Yes, because you went and clean yourself. You pray to Almighty God to forgive your sins, and then the blessing that comes out of it. If you come back home and come and take another sin, it goes against you. So once you are dead there, then it's okay for you. You go to heaven. Yes, that's what the teaching of Quran told us.
How do you feel knowing that your relatives are there?
Losing someone is not easy. When you know that when you are preparing for the person to come back home, because when they are coming, we usually dress their rooms, paint it, make it fine for them so that it will come perfect. So after doing all this, and the last thing you could hear is that your relative is not coming. You know, it's very, very painful. It's very, very disheartening. So, but as a Muslim, it is bound to happen. You see.
So, but since the incident happened, have you heard from them?
Yeah. From my, they are all okay. Nobody is dead.
Yeah, about it, but we don't know about. But only God can protect their life and their soul.
What does it mean for somebody to die in Saudi Arabia?
Well, go for pilgrimage, not so, and they go to pilgrimage for tomorrow for heaven, and that is why they go. So anything can happen. God make all these things.
I feel bad, so bad. It's so bad. But everything is about God. So we believe in God. Everything come is God. Yeah, it's jihad. Yeah, it's like you are doing something because of God. So if you die, you go heaven.
Do you have relatives in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah, absolutely I have. I have the information yesterday, absolutely. Even I affected one of my friends.
So is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead. He's from Kano State in Nigeria.
How do you feel about it?
It's very sad, but usually, it's not easy for where people of almost about 4 to 5 million will gather at once.
But Chairman of the Hajj Board, Alhaji Ibrahim Tanko Abdul Rauf, has allayed fears about any Ghanaian deaths and casualties. He spoke to me a while ago on News Desk.
You know, definitely, just like you are worried in Ghana, those of us who are here are more worried. And we only have to let you know there is no official indication from the Saudi authorities as the involvement of Ghanaian civilians in this casualty issue.
Earlier, you were telling us that you could still not account for some Ghanaians. Have you been able to account for them? Have they returned to the camps yet?
See, let me tell you how we are unable to account for all Ghanaians. It is not only Ghanaians, it cuts across the whole world. When you come to Hajj, there are a series of spiritual obligations. You know, what you have to go through. Like, you come from Mina, you have to come in groups. They give you like 64 buses. Those buses will have to convey the first batch of pilgrims from Mina to Muzdalifa. And you have to be at a particular time. And when you get to Muzdalifa, you don't have to proceed. You have to transit to Muzdalifa. And it's a area. You have to pay your Maghrib and Isha there at whatever time. And then afterwards, you move, you pray Hajj, and then you move. When you move from the Muzdalifa, you have to go and do the stone story. That's the story of the Atani. And from that point, you have the option to proceed to Makkah and go and do the first tawaf. That is what they call tawaf with the father. Or you wait until you finish the stone throwing the fourth day, which will be on Saturday, so that you will go to Makkah and do the stone throwing.
Pressure group Let My Vote Count Alliance says it will go ahead to demonstrate in front of the Electoral Commission, irrespective of attempts by the police to seek a perpetual injunction to restrain them. The police say the EC area is a security zone and would therefore not allow members of the group to demonstrate there. A similar attempt by the group in its last demonstration led to injuries of some of the members as the police fired tear gas and allegedly beat some of the protesters, and we'll bring you more on this story in our subsequent bulletins. Now, Minority Leader Oseche Mensah-Bonsu wants the Public Order Act reviewed to check what he describes as police abuse. The act requires organizers of public protests to notify the police not less than 5 days prior to the event, stating the nature, time of commencement and proposed route. The police have, however, on numerous occasions used the provisions in the Act to start demonstrations or force route changes, adding to calls for the establishment of an inquiry into recent brutalities meted out by the police to demonstrators with the Let My Vote Count Alliance. Mr. Oseche Mensah-Bonsu said a review will give clearer meaning to the Act.
The constitutional guarantees are being taken over. I don't know, consciously or unconsciously, by this act. The Constitution guarantees freedom of assembly and freedom of demonstration, freedom of speech. It looks like what the Constitution has guaranteed, the police is using the Public Order Act to take away from the citizenry, and that should not be encouraged. I want to believe that the Public Order Act was fashioned out in good faith. But how it's being applied now, it seems to be eroding the constitutional guarantees. So we should introspectively look at this again.
Now, in response to numerous public criticism of their actions, the police maintain they used graduated force after they were provoked by the Let My Vote Count demonstrators. The minority leader, however, says the failure of the police to provide evidence suggests that the police are not entirely being truthful.
If indeed it was true, they would have shown it alongside the play out of the incidents that the various television stations have been showing. I would want to believe that there's no such thing, and there was no such incident. If it should come out that they have anything, it will be make-believe. I mean, the people of this country have conscience, and the police administration should not think that they are the only wise people in this country. They've been given the authority to protect the citizens, not to maim them. And people in clothes, you know, service clothes, should not think that they are vested with authority to manhandle people. It's incorrect. It's incorrect. And the danger in what we are saying is like, if it concerns people perceived to be opposition elements, the police discover their brutal strength. It happened in Talensi. And we had a minister of interior coming out to say that violence begets violence. And yet violence could not beget violence at Abubulushi. The police were chased away, and they were running away helter-skelter, they themselves, to jump into their cars and flee. Violence. Did violence beget violence? And in this case, who in Accra has come to say that some violence was visited on him by the demonstrators? Which shop owners have come to say that their shops were vandalized by the demonstrators? Clearly, they just want to conjure something. But I want the people of this country should let the police know that if they want to please authority, authority is not going to remain in the hands of the people who are in power now, forever.
Now, news coming in. A press conference has turned chaotic amidst gunshots at Bogosu in the western region. We're trying to establish contact with our reporter, and we'll bring you the latest on this story. You're still here on News Today on Joy News on Multi TV. My name is Future Sedu. We are back shortly with more stories for you. Stay with us, please. Let's talk some politics. And the national chairman and general secretary of the New Patriotic Party are facing fresh internal inquiry for allegedly creating an unauthorized platform to fraudulently collect funds from party members across the world. The national chairman, Paul Afoko, on Wednesday issued a statement announcing the launch of the online platform nppcenter.org to both register NPP members and raise funds ahead of the 2016 general elections. But the national treasurer of the party, Abankwah Yeboah, says the fundraising portal is fraudulent and not authorized by the NPP. He says some members of the party who were lured to use the platform have already filed an official report with the police. The party's National Council and Executives Committees have hinted they will launch a probe into the issue. NPP National Treasurer Abankwah Yeboah has been speaking to the head of our political desk, Evans Mensah.
I want to say categorically clear that the NPP, the National Executive Committee, has not approved any such website, www.nppcenter.org, to raise funds for the party. Nothing of the sort has been approved. All approvals of every such fundraising activity goes through the National Executive Committee. And being the secretary and member of the Finance Committee, nothing of the sort has been placed before the NEC. And I want to say that that website is illegal, and I would urge all party members and any sympathizer of the party not to participate in that website. What I know is that this nppcenter.org website is a website under investigation, because that website is collecting money which is not coming to the party.
But if what you're saying is true, why will the national chairman of your party cause a statement to be issued announcing the launch of a portal that raises funds for the party, and yet you say it is unauthorized?
And that is why I'm challenging the national chairman to come out and let the whole world know if there is any account into which that money being collected. I've made reports to the police, which have furnished our committee with the information. I know the campaign also, the party's campaign, which is yet to be launched, is yet to come out with the fundraising website. So to the best of my knowledge, and every website that is created for raising funds, it is an electronic system. And that electronic system of raising funds is linked to a bank account. And I'm challenging them because nothing of the sort has been done.
High Court Judge Justice Paul Derry, caught on tape allegedly taking bribe, strikes again as he targets Cinema House with a contempt suit seeking to imprison its managing director. He has sued everybody from investigative journalist Anas Aremiyawa Nas to managers of the Accra International Conference Center, and now his latest target is a Cinema House. Justice Paul Derry is asking the Accra Fast Track High Court to imprison the managing director of Global Cinemas, Ernest Boateng, for contempt For more on this, I spoke with my colleague Fred Smith earlier on News Desk.
This Global Cinema group, they announced that they were going to show the movies in their cinema hall, and Justice Derry is not happy about this. He says that by Global Cinemas making their movie halls available to Anas Aremia's Tiger IPI and their media partners to screen this video, they are bringing the matters in the video to the public domain, which to him goes against the inquiry that's currently ongoing, which says that if a judge is implicated in some scandal or corruption, then the matter must be resolved in camera to prevent, the public influencing the outcome. So some level of confidentiality is what he's been seeking all along, and he thinks that Global Cinemas is violating that. We don't know. The courts will have to sit and determine how the case would go, but we know a number of people and organizations are in similar situation as him, including the newspaper where Anas grew up or started his career, the New Crusading Guardian. So we wait to see how all of these things pan out, because we know almost all of these institutions and individuals have lawyers who advise them on what step to take, considering the nature of this particular expose.
Multimedia Group Limited is partnering the UNDP to promote advocacy on the Sustainable Development Goals. In doing this, a discussion dubbed Social Good Summit is underway in Accra with panelists drawn from government, the media and civil society to enhance knowledge on the Sustainable Development Goals. Here's an excerpt of what transpired so far.
I'm happy to inform you that the Social Good Summit in Ghana is part of more than 100 social good summits organized around the world to raise awareness of the SDGs. UNDP believes that making these goals famous will be the first important step in achieving the new and ambitious development agenda. The 17 global goals are not only ambitious, but also transformational. Realizing them can only happen on the back of strong global partnerships that involve governments, civil society, development agencies, the private sector, business leaders, and communities everywhere. We are happy to collaborate with the Multimedia Group Limited, Unilever Ghana, Standard Chartered Bank, and the Global Compact Network to feature this event, which will also discuss Ghana's MDGs achievements and lessons for the SDGs implementation.
Though the MDGs are largely socially oriented, they have significant impact on the growth and development of the private sector. Without a well-educated, skilled and healthy workforce, the private sector will face challenges in its pursuit to raise productivity, become competitive, profitable, create jobs, and therefore raise the living standards of the population. To this end, the private sector recognizes its role to achieve the MDGs. Over the years, private sector has contributed towards achieving the MDGs through establishment of social enterprises and their corporate social responsibility activities. Indeed, both indigenous and multinational companies have provided a range of social amenities such as building and refurbishment of schools, provision of scholarships, educational materials, improving health services through health education, refurbishment of hospitals, and provision of hospital materials and mass spraying against mosquitoes. We at the Private Enterprise Federation, our members, have also undertaken some activities towards achieving the MDGs. For example, recognizing the long-term threat of AIDS to the external profitability, the Federation in 2001 initiated workplace HIV programs with the support of development partners to deepen their awareness and to provide basic steps that will equip participants to implement workplace.
We believe at Multimedia, we believe in the power of goals to help us to achieve. And we are glad that at the end of the MDGs, these SDGs have come, which would help to create sustained global attention on development, economic growth, inclusion, and environmental protection in the next 15 years. Our role in this is quite simple. Ours is to make sure people know what it is, because we believe that people cannot go where they do not know. And to do this, we bring a formidable arsenal of media outlets Joy FM, Adum FM, Hits FM, Asempa FM, Love FM, in Kukumasi, Inshra FM. And not only that, we also bring our TV strength to bear, multi-TV, which consists of Adum TV, Joy Prime, and Joy News. We believe that with our help, with our partnership in this thing, the SDGs will be very, very successful.
President Mahama has arrived in New York, USA to attend the 70th session of the United Nations General Assembly. This year's session is on the theme, the United Nations at 70, the road ahead for peace, security and human rights. Ahead of the opening on Monday, President Mahama will today, participate in the opening of the UN Summit on the post-2015 Development Agenda, which will adopt the sustainable goals. He will also attend a plenary session of the UN to be addressed by Pope Francis. You're still here on News Today. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest in the world of business, plus other stories. Stay with us. And that's all for News Today here on Joy News on Multi TV. Remember, you can join us on the Pulse at 3 p.m. for that story on the press conference where there's been some shooting incident there. And also for more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Beatrice. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good afternoon.